I didn't want to leave the hotel. I was scared too.
Meanwhile, it smelled like straight horse booty. Welcome to Tabletop Topics. I'm your host, Jeff.
And of course, Jeff, guys, if you want to watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Facebook, Kick, Twitch, and also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the links, it'll take you directly to the episodes, and of course, we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course, leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. Let's jump right into it.
Guys, well, Snot. We see your Snot. Welcome, Snot.
Welcome.
We have a new
Special.
Guys, I would like to introduce you to Monica Tanner, a certified relationship coach, host of Secrets of Happily Ever After podcast, and a proud author of Bad Marriage Advice. Guys, chat, please welcome Monica Tanner to the table. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Monica.
How
Thank
are
you guys so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
so honored
Absolutely.
to
How
be
we
here.
doing today?
I'm so good.
I know you are a little bit, you're behind or ahead?
She's behind.
She's behind
She's
in time.
behind.
That's, what was it, Central Time, Mountain Time?
5 o'clock somewhere.
It's 5
Exactly.
o'clock somewhere. That's
Exactly.
true. Someone's getting out of work now. That's real.
Yep, exactly.
That's real. We love
exactly.
it. Please tell us about yourself.
Introduction was so kind. I have been doing this for about 8 years. I've been
Oh.
podcasting and working with couples. I
Sensational.
started, people always ask, how did it start? When I was 12 years old, my parents got a divorce. And ever since then, I have been literally obsessed with what makes marriages strong and lasting. And I remember when my parents got a divorce, I was like, wait a second. And so I started observing all of the married couples around me, and I recognized how important relationships were, but I didn't feel like anyone was having a lot of fun. And I was like, wait a second, why are people getting married and not having a good time? And so I studied it in college, and then I got married myself. And then I just am on a mission to help people love their marriages again, because I think that if you're going to spend your whole life with somebody, you're going to build something together, it should be fun.
Okay, cool beans.
Is there anything interesting that you found, especially doing what you've been doing for the past 8 years? Like anything interesting, that a trend that you've noticed in marriage since pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, and of course now, this day and age?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Nobody's really asked me about the pandemic before, but I do think that people are tolerating less. I think they're asking for help sooner. I
Gotcha.
think before the pandemic, you had this statistic running around that people would wait 6 years in a miserable marriage before they would ask for help. And I think after the pandemic, I would venture to guess that that's not true anymore. I think people are less willing to be miserable together.
So would you say it's like lower tolerance, you would say?
I think people are realizing that life is short and let's make the most of it. And so if we're not in a good situation, let's either ask for help or get to something different.
I'd like to pass it over to Cece, one of our guests on a specific Valentine's Day episode where we talked about relationships. I do know
She's a Gen Z, so
she's a Gen Z, so
Yeah.
she's has a lot of ups and downs in this landscape.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
floor is yours, Cece.
yeah.
So I listened to a few of your episodes, and I have to say I love your advice. I love your approach to everything. I have parents who have been married for about 35 years, and my oldest brother's been married for 6, and now I have a middle brother who just got engaged. They'll be married next June. So
She's the last one.
I'm the last one.
Baby.
But I think you give incredible advice. And I think for me, with being Gen Z, I'm more so dating now. I do want to be married. So for me, I'm navigating the dating landscape, not so much the marriage landscape.
Yes.
But I love how Mr. Boyardee mentioned the pandemic, because that's something that came up in a conversation recently with my friend who just got engaged. And I've noticed there's a difference in social patterns in everybody post-pandemic. So my question for you is, you mentioned you sure that people are tolerating less when they realize there's a marriage that may not have the lifespan that it does. But when it comes to a marriage who's, like, for example, my parents who've been married for 35 years, or somebody who is dating, how have you noticed the differences between pre and post pandemic marriages that have continued and the dating landscape, if that makes sense.
I think that people are just getting more emotionally and socially aware of what's out there. I think there's podcasts, I think there's books, I think people are just like your generation is getting less tolerant of this idea that we're just going to get into a marriage of mutual toleration. I think you guys don't want that and are not willing to tolerate that. And so you're getting way more aware of like, what am I looking for? What are our shared goals? Like, can we negotiate life together? Meaning, something I feel like is really important. It's always been important, but I think now people are understanding a little bit more that there is no like roles that we have to navigate marriage together, right? Like, are both of us going to work? Are both of us going to stay home? Are we going to take turns? In fact, I'm working with a couple right now where she's studying to be a doctor and he's studying to be a dentist, and they're each going to work half the week and stay home with their baby the other half of the week. And I think it's so cool that we're rewriting the rules. There's no rules anymore. It's not like the man goes out and works and the woman stays home with the children. It's like, we're going to create a marriage that works for us, and we don't care what the old traditional rules say.
Do you think that there is too much access, like social media and videos online, that are giving these young kids the different perspective of what it is to be in a relationship or to be in a marriage, which is why you don't really see them like touching grass or trying to get together, having even communication issues? Is what I've noticed that's been going on with this generation. Is it's difficult for them to like have an actual conversation with each other because they're so used to being online.
I do think that attention spans are shorter. Like I said, I think people are tolerating less. Like, if I'm not interested in this person, like, let's just move on. Like, I do think you have a level of that. I think there is the loneliness epidemic that we talk about so much, as people are not having these interactions with each other. Like, everybody's communicating from their own bedrooms on their phones. To me, is just strange. But communication is, to me, all in all, getting a little bit better. I think a little bit stronger. I think people have better words for things, and I think we have just better resources. You can go to ChatGPT and say, how do I talk about this topic with the person that I'm dating, right?
That's
and you can
true.
get all kinds of advice for free. I'm not saying it's all good advice, but I'm just saying we have so many more resources. There's less that we have to compromise about, less that we have to like tolerate. I think we have more templates of different ways that we can be happy.
Of like self-sufficiency, of just keeping our homeostasis of being happy, where it's like, but that's the thing where I want to go into, where it's like a lot of people look at marriage as the bow tie to their happiness, and not necessarily like, this is a project, this is a vision we're looking to build on and add to it. Where it's like, I feel like most people use marriage as like something to hold on to the limerence of that initial stages of that happiness that they had, like
the honeymoon
phase.
I think people are getting wiser to the fact that marriage requires work, that like just being a human requires work, that we all have work to do. I think it's just getting more prevalent in the language. Like, everybody's got to go back and heal their inner child, and we're just getting a little bit more aware of all of that. That's just there much more than our parents had. Like, therapy is just becoming a little bit more of something that people are willing to do. I love it when I hear men saying, I just saw my therapist. That's not something
it's still rare.
It's still rare.
Rare.
Oh, that's real. Especially like when I go see my psychologist, I've seen a lot more men in my generation actually like taking that initiative to get through certain issues where that builds toxic attachments to their partners and things like that. So is that something you notice, like something you can call, like when you are couples, like their attachment styles and how that can you go into that a little bit?
Well, one of the things that I love doing, I work with couples, but I also work in a program called the Secure Self Club, which is just a whole lot of single Gen Zers who are aware that they have an anxious attachment and they want to have a secure attachment before they find the one. And that's what I think there's so much more awareness of. We need to be in a good place individually before we hitch our wagons to somebody else, just like hope for the best. I think in past generations, it was just like a woman leaves her mom and dad's house and gets married, and there's like just one way to do that. And then there's a lot of disappointment and happiness, and women don't feel like they're self-authoring, or they don't have choices, or they give up too much in order to manage the family stuff. And I think there's just more awareness now. I think women are like, what? No, I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to be able to make money, and we're going to figure out how to do this marriage together. I'm seeing a
Compromise.
lot more awareness of that.
And I think another thing too is couples. I don't know if it's going on today because I've been out of the dating market forever. But a lot of couples, when they do get together, they put on the show. So the person that they
LARPing,
are, the person they
That word recently.
live action role play. So the thing is, because when you're watching these clips or shorts on either TikTok, YouTube, and all that stuff like that, all you hear a young woman is saying is, "I wasn't me in the marriage. I had to be somebody else for this person," and then it goes vice versa with the male too. They had to be somebody else for this person. And it's like, I always tell people sometimes when they do start a relationship to be yourself at the beginning, so they know who you are moving forward.
Like the way I am with my brother, with my friends, or like, it should be that easy. I'm saying, like, I shouldn't feel shame being me around my spouse. I'm saying something like that.
But some people go into the relationship being somebody else, and then when they get exhausted of that, let's say 2-3 years down the road, then they're like, I'm done with this marriage.
They get tired of projecting.
They get tired of pretending to be somebody else.
Well, I think there's more now with there, especially women, and I talk mostly about women because I think this is where it starts.
Gotcha.
Is we have more options, so we're raising the level of our expectation, which is requiring men to now raise the level of their functioning, because we're not trapped in a marriage we don't like anymore.
Exactly.
Women are leaving marriages at faster rates than men are, and so I think that for us, this has to be a good situation for us, or we're out. We're not trapped anymore. And so men are like, all right, if I want to have a good marriage, I got to raise the level of my functioning as well. So
absolutely. No, I completely agree, because it's like, whatchamacallit? Sorry. Where it's like, for men now, it's like we've essentially stuck to the role,
the traditional role,
and that's all the expectation was. I'm saying, well, it's like, well, now with the advent of technology, mobility, like women
can work,
they can move
in the workforce.
Right. I'm saying, it's like, there's not that requirement of, okay, I need a handyman at home, I need someone to bring in the bacon, I need that. There's something to fill all those roles. So what else?
But there's still that innate primitive thinking of, I need to provide and protect.
Right, provide and protect.
So even if we keep exponentially moving forward, we still have that mentality of, I need to make money in order to provide, in order to protect, in order to do this.
It's like, if everyone's making money and that's what defined you as your role, now it's like, okay, so what
do I do now?
What do I do now?
What do you
What is my purpose?
Like, the men that are like, oh, well, women can make the money now, then the role they get to wear the pants now. Like, what do you say to that? Because I've encountered that where either I'm dating somebody or seeing somebody, maybe there is a difference in salary, there's a difference in where we're at in our careers, and I've experienced where they now think I'm Daddy Warbucks, and I'm like, and I get to
Daddy Warbucks. I love it.
You what?
That's not how this works.
I think it just requires a lot of communication and faith, right? I think you just make it clear, like, this is what I'm expecting of you. I do make a lot of money and I'm happy in that role. How do you feel about that? And what do you feel like you can add to this? I think there's a lot more storylines that are possible now.
Sign me up. I'll take care of the kids. I got this.
Is that going to work for both of you? So great.
And what do you say to, like, the idea of standards? Because I've been told by, like, some male friends, like, oh, you need to lower your standards, they're way too high. And I'm like, that is the worst thing you could possibly ever tell a woman, because my standards are based off of the marriage that my parents have built for the past 35 years. And I talked about this on the show. Like, I've seen my parents struggle through the 2008 recession. I've seen them go to marriage counseling. I've seen them through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm very grateful that I've witnessed that. But because of that, that's why I have high standards. So what do you say to, like, that mentality? Because I feel like that's something as a Gen Z, I've heard, and I think it backpedals on, like, the fact that you do have some men who are like, I don't have to wear the pants anymore. I don't have to put all this effort in. So
Well, Cece, I feel like you're very lucky. You've gotten to see a
Yeah.
really good relational template and you have a really good idea of
Not a
what
lot of
you
people do. Yeah.
as well want. And so just communicating that with somebody like, hey, listen, I want a partner and a teammate. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in being anybody's sugar mama. I'm not interested in, you do you know what I'm saying? It's just like being
No,
very
yeah.
clear. I definitely don't think lower your standards, but realize that you're marrying a human. You're a human,
is-
you're marrying a human. Like we gotta
Nobody's perfect.
but your expectations, if you make them clear at the very beginning and you let somebody know that I'm looking for a teammate, this is what I think it should look like, this is the template, like introduce them to your family, like these are the people that raised me and they have this incredible marriage and that's also what I want. So is that what you want? Okay, great. Like maybe this will work. But marriage is always a gamble. Any level, any stage. My parents knew each other for 15 years before they got married and they divorced. My husband and I knew from the day we met to the day we got married was 11 months. So there's no guarantees at all, ever. You just got to do the best you can and learn how to communicate. And you got to know, are we both in this to win this?
And
And
like,
I listened to your episode about like keeping score, about like how marriage is actually like a team effort when it comes, especially when you have kids in the play of things. Like when you have kids, you sacrifice a lot of the life that you had beforehand. And he talked about like keeping score. Like it isn't a competition on who can be the good cop, bad cop. It isn't a competition of who wins the argument. So, like for people who do have the habit of keeping score, what are some like tactics to help them like nip that in the bud? Because it's not fair, right?
Well, I like to think of, I actually do lots of sports analogies in our household. We've got lots of athletes here, and I think love it. So I think it's important to remember that you're on the same team. So when you're keeping score, are you keeping score about your team against the enemy, which is literally anyone? I talk a lot about you create a boundary around your marriage. It's you and your spouse against the world, everyone, even the kids, right? And so a lot of times we have to reorient ourselves. Like I say a lot, you can be right or you can be married. So if you're like a scorekeeping,
What did I say?
my brother and I were talking about that the other day. Yeah.
That's
if
true.
you're of the scorekeeping mentality, keep score of like your wins against everybody else. Sure. I think compromise. I'm trying to think of scenarios in which I talk about scorekeeping, like compromise creates a lot of scorekeeping. I think that's an old idea. Again, that's in my book, Bad Marriage Advice, because if you ask older couples that seem really happy, so many times you'll hear the advice, learn how to compromise.
Yep.
But to me, I think that's an old, outdated idea. Compromise is you give a little, I give a little, 50-50, we meet in the middle. And maybe that worked decades ago, but now we have so many resources, so many different creative ways to solve problems, that more importantly, I teach collaboration. So that means I get real clear on my position. What do I feel strongly about? What do I value? Why do I value? How did I learn this? Like what is most important to me about this thing that we're trying to make a decision about, whether it's where you're going to eat dinner or how you're going to educate your kids. Big decisions, big and small. Get really clear about your position and get clear and curious about your partner's position. What do they feel strongly about? What do they value? Why do they feel so strongly about that? What is important about that to them? Then go back and go, what are my reservations about my partner's position, right? Is there where they want to eat? Is it too expensive? Am I allergic to it? Like what are my reservations about their position, and get their reservations about your position. And then when you have all of that data out on the table, now you can get really resourced about how to make a decision that takes the very best of what you value and the very best about what they value. And you raise the level of the solutions you're coming up with. So compromise is like meeting in the middle. Collaboration is like raising the level.
Building
Gotcha.
something,
So
right, creating
basically,
something.
try not to be solipsistic
Right.
and mostly focus. What about me? What do I?
It's not
want?
just making concessions, because
for-
when you make concessions, you start keeping score. Oh, you remember that last time I did that?
Yes, like how now when you're working together as a team, you're like, how do we take the
gotcha.
best of my position and the best of yours, right? It's like you might have different roles on the team. Like I might be offensive and my husband is defensive, but he can see the field from a different vantage point. So I want to take into consideration everything that he sees along with everything that I see. And now we're a better team.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. Like, what are you seeing? That okay, is there a hole in? I like that.
I like to talk about this like an elephant. I've been around people, right, who like are not willing to see things any other way besides
Oh,
theirs.
Besides their, yeah.
Stubborn. They're
Very
solipsistic.
They're
stubborn.
stubborn and they're like, my way or the highway. This is
Uh-huh.
the only way.
Yep.
I envision those people like standing directly in the butt of an elephant. And then you, right? And they're like
You
stuck there. They're
what?
just looking at an elephant's butt.
Oh man.
But when you take into consideration your friends, your brothers, podcasts, other positions, other people's perspectives and points of view, now you're getting such a better vision of this magnificent animal that you weren't seeing before, right? So I always say, like, stubborn people are stuck in the butts of elephants. Like, that's sorry.
That's real.
I like that
bars,
analogy.
bro.
Good
No,
analogy.
No, you should try. I like that analogy.
That's bars. Cece,
Yes.
do you have anything else?
I do. I came with a whole notepad of questions. I listened to some of your episodes. I listened to the episode.
Monica, you're gonna be here for a minute. You gotta give us a time limit.
I listened to the episode that you interviewed your son and his now wife. I thought that was adorable because so with that time frame between them being married and that part, how long have they been married at that time? when you did that?
Well, so here's what's cool. My son and his wife have the same anniversary as my husband and I do.
Oh,
They got
that's
married on the
amazing.
same day 23 years later.
Stop, that's so cute.
All of our anniversaries are in like a couple of weeks. So May 3rd will be their 1 year anniversary.
Cool
and my
beans.
husband's 24 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we love that.
And so I was listening to that, and I have some questions here regarding that. So when it comes to like maturity in marriage, because I know some people who like married their high school sweetheart, their college sweetheart, and you're much different at 23 than what you are at 33, and you realize that. So my question for you is, with the spouses that you see who work through like those tough times, like do you see like the maturity grow? Do you see that wisdom of age come with that? Or do you just see some people, there's that term like they really never grow up? Do you see that? Like, do you see with like when you put the work in as you grow older, does the wisdom come with that? Does the maturity come with that? Or to touch on the stubborn aspect, do people just never grow
Big
up?
kids with more rules.
Exactly.
Yes. When you take into consideration the elephant, the couples that do the best are the ones who are willing to grow and change and make room in the relationship for both, right? I think growth and wisdom is so beautiful. And I often say your relationship will mature to the level of honesty that it can handle.
Gotcha.
And so the difference between these marriages that stay stuck in like a really childlike, not moving forward, not gaining more wisdom, not handling challenges with grace, is they mask things from each other. They're not honest with each other. They hide things from each other. Have you ever seen, like, you go to a restaurant and there's an older couple and they're sitting there just like literally not talking to each other? Like they'll maybe comment on the menu or the weather or
You
talk
just hear
about
the
the
utensils clanking. On
No. And I'll tell you, it's not because they've run out of things to talk about. It's not like they've talked about all the things. It's because they have not learned how to talk about the difficult topics. The couples that are at the restaurant, and every single time they're out together, it looks like the first time they've ever been together. They're curious, they're asking questions. It's because they recognize that everything changes us, right? Like after this conversation, I'm going to be different than when I sat down at my desk to have this conversation.
Okay.
Everything changes us, right? Like my husband I heard him come in, right? And I'm like so
Yeah.
excited because he left this morning at 7 a.m. and I haven't seen him since.
Oh.
We worked out together at 5:30, which is what we do every morning.
Okay, cool
And
beans.
then we went to work all day, and I'm like so excited to find out how his day went. What did he learn? Who did he talk to? Like what happened today? And I want to share with him all the things that happened to me. So if you're constantly curious and you recognize that everything, with every single experience that you have, you're growing, you're changing, and you allow that, right? You get curious about each other. You're not like, man, I sure liked it when you were
when you
You
did
know.
this or you were
Ex-
this.
which when my husband and I were starting our business, growing our business in the very beginning, we spent a lot of time together during the day, but we were still experiencing it very different because he was seeing it through his lens and I was seeing it through my lens. So even when we spent a whole lot of time together, we were still like, this is what I'm experiencing. How are you doing? Like, what is this? You're always learning things from each other, experiencing things differently. So it's really fun to talk, even if you've been on the same vacation, you've been together all day. Like,
Gotcha.
how was that for you? What did you love most?
And
You
that just
always learn more.
reinforces what you said earlier about, I feel like marriage, like in this day and age,
work.
truly requires a level of self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it requires a level of awareness on how you're interacting with the world and affecting the world and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah.
like, I feel it.
And you guys
I
have
feel
never
it.
you guys have never had those moments where you're like, oh, we're just always together. We need some like time apart or anything like that. Or
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Like, I think absence makes the heart grow fonder all the time, right? I go on trips, you go on trips. We have times. I love, my husband will say, like, sometimes he'll go on a trip like without the family or whatever. He
Mhm.
doesn't travel often, but if he like, sometimes he's like, the first 24 hours, I'm like, woohoo, I'm free. I'm living the life. He's like, and then I
she's
really
released
start
me
to
from
miss
my
everyone.
shackles.
Oh, man.
Amazing.
But of course, you should have experiences separate from each other. You should have experiences together. You should talk about those things. Like, of course.
Because it also brings that air of just like spontaneity, especially if you experience something different and then you share that with
I
them,
got
or
you.
like it gives you ideas to keep the marriage interest.
I got you. I got a quick question for you. What do you think is wrong with today's modern dating landscape? Because a lot of people are
How do we get to marriage now?
Because I've been hearing a lot from these young kids, and I'm talking like I'm ancient, that they don't consider themselves boyfriend and girlfriend. They're not dating, but they're dating.
No
There's
titles.
no title. There's like all these labels. Like
Exclusivity, all
I
of
lose hair
this.
and brain cells every day trying to
It's
figure out the new lingo.
It's-
But what do you think?
You and I both. I teenagers say things all the time. I'm like, please translate.
But in your opinion, what do you think? What do you think has gone wrong or is difficult about today's modern dating landscape that it wasn't back in the day or earlier? In your
What
opinion,
has gone wrong? I think it just looks different now. And get some old timers like us, and we're like, how come everything is happening over text? Like, pick up
Right.
the phone, and call your
Right.
friend, right?
touch
But-
grass.
I don't know. Like, my daughter's going to prom with this kid, and like, I don't understand their relationship at all. I'm like, have you made plans? Like, what's happening? Like, it's in like 2 days. Like, do we know what the date
Well,
is?
they
Looks
speak
like?
in hieroglyphs now. They just send memes and just had an entire conversation.
And you're like, honey, what did you just say? Oh,
The date is set, and then you just see SpongeBob pictures and a cat, something.
oh man.
Absolutely.
But there's value in it. The reality is, as we're humans, and we all have the desire to connect. We all have the desire for connection.
Oh yeah,
and
not meant to be alone.
absolutely. And so I think that the world will course correct itself. I think
That's true.
AI is new, and everyone's like, ooh, I can have a AI girlfriend, and like, how cool. Like,
You
let's see what
what?
that's like, right? But I honestly, my honest opinion is I don't think it's going to last. I think it's alarming. Like, okay, we now have relationships with robots. Like, that's weird. But at some point, we're going to realize that we're not,
Futurama.
like, we're going to have to have human
Team
interaction, and that's just going to be
anti-clanker.
weird.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's spooky.
I know for me, I'm not much of a texter. I'm like, either pick up the phone or like, let's plan a time or we meet in person. And I have found that, like, depending on their emotional maturity or mental maturity and their communication style, a lot of people prefer to just meet in person. And I've had like people tell me, like, that's alarming, they're not texting you. And I'm like, no, we have a date on the calendar. We're going to talk when we meet in person.
Right,
It'll be
I feel-
alarming
yeah.
if it's the day of and they don't follow up. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But it's like, no, we're going to meet in person and we're going to talk in person. And I find so much more value in that, because texting isn't how you're supposed to get somebody, like, get to know somebody. Like, seeing their face and hearing their tone and
And
reading
actually,
their
like,
body
receiving
language.
the energy that they're bringing. I'm saying,
And that's how you make
right?
memories.
Because
Well,
I
it's
feel like
like-
over text, it goes back to the whole LARPing thing. That's where you just craft this entire character behind
Yeah.
a facade of, all right, I know what to say now, and then I have like 30 minutes or a day, depending on what.
Well, it's like dating apps when you swipe left and right. You don't know the person's personality. When you used to organically meet somebody, you would actually have conversation and then see if you like the person or not. But that's not even the case anymore. You look at a picture and then you're like,
Everything's a profile.
It's a profile. So it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
And it's like I need to show up as my profile, and it's weird.
I need to
It's
hold a fish in my
weird. It's
hand.
so weird. Like
yeah. I think it all looks different, obviously, than like when I was dating, but I think the problems are the same. And I think the
Right.
solutions will be similar, even though like it just absolutely looks different. When my husband and I started dating, you had a cell phone, if you can imagine, was like the size of a brick, and you got 100 minutes a month.
100.
That's it. You paid for like
Were
100
they
minutes.
like them cards, like those minute cards or something like that?
No,
We
that's
dated long distance. I'm like, how did we do that?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't even make sense. And then you had like free minutes after 9 o'clock, right?
on the
Like,
weekends. Weekends were
midnight. Yes.
weekends were unlimited. I remember
and so we
those.
just like evolved with time. Like my daughter asked me the other day, she's like, how did you guys know where to meet up and stuff?
I was
We
thinking about
opened
that
the
too.
map, and then we looked at the
How do we know
directions.
where to meet up? I
Where
have
to
no
meet-
idea.
right.
But she's like, when? And I'm like, well, somebody made a plan and then you stuck to that plan.
Back
Like
in-
it's
Right.
different
Yeah.
now. Like
And you
now you
didn't-
change
right.
the plans like
Mhm.
12 times because you could just instantly. But
Not show up.
back then it was like we're meeting at Taco Bell after school, and you knew that like a week in advance, and that never changed.
Yep.
That's
Right.
just
There
what
was like landmarks you knew where to be. Be at the corner of where the mall is and blah blah.
3 o'clock as soon as we got out of
Right.
school.
No,
was
that's real.
That was the thing, and that's why I'm so glad I grew up without cell phones, and then I transitioned into technology because it's like we understood what it was to go outside, to communicate, to have fun. This was all before technology, so it's like now that we're all technology based, that's what we focus on. Like you said, everybody's a profile. No, you don't even know how I act, who I am, what my personality is. It's if you're tall, you're short. If you have hair, you're bald. I don't like you. I'm gonna swipe left or I'm gonna swipe right, and then that's it.
Very
Rob-
superficial.
It is.
Robert
It is.
says, "Welcome, Robert.
Robert's married.
Robert.
Married. His anniversary is
16 years.
yeah,
Yay,
Robert-
congrats.
Yeah.
Robert says
5 kids, right?
May 8th will be 16 years. Welcome, Robert.
Amazing. So here's the thing, like the big takeaway of like dating looking different. Like I remember the days when we had to write letters and now then we have phone calls and now we have text and now everyone's a profile, right? I think the thing to remember is that you've got, no matter what, whether you're dating, and it starts when you're dating, obviously, to when you're married, nobody can read your mind.
Nope.
Nobody knows how you feel loved and how you want to be treated. You have to teach people how to treat you.
That's
This whole
real.
idea that the Cinderella story, if you meet the right
Gone.
person,
They'll
Yeah.
just know,
how to make you
right?
happy. No.
The mind reading, right? It's the
Yes.
it's the mind reading. Like they
Yes,
want it to
people
play out
don't
like a
appreciate
movie.
hints. Yes, we
Yeah.
have to just roll up our sleeves and teach
And
the
do it
person how to
right.
treat us.
And
it
then we can
starts
have
when
the
we're
movie.
dating,
Right.
right? What are the texting rules going to be? Like when can I expect to hear from you? When are we going to meet? Like are you going to be on time? Like all of those things. It starts when you're dating. Is this person going to take influence from you? And
Yeah.
do they want to be in a relationship with you where where you have expectations and you're voicing them and you can make requests of them and they're going to honor that and they're going to apologize when they're wrong and like all of the things. It all starts when you're dating.
Oh, for sure. And if I can't reach you, send a 5-minute text. I'm busy. Well, I'll talk to you later. Anything like that. But like you said, communication. And I think that's the biggest issue in today's modern landscape is nobody knows how to communicate anymore. And it's like the excuse before was there was no cell phone. So it's like you said, letter or email if
There
you
was
if you
that
had access to
time,
internet.
right.
Time. But now it's like it's instant. So you saying I couldn't get to my phone, they're gonna clock it. And it's like, okay, if somebody's important to you, it only takes 10 seconds to say I am busy right now. I'll text you later. But a lot of people have the communication issue that kind of
Like,
falls into it.
I always communicate up front. I'm like, I typically will either text you like first thing in the morning before I start work or after 5 o'clock. During the day, I usually do not text because I'm working. And the only people I text are like my mom, my dad, or my brothers, like my family. If somebody reaches out to me that's my family during the day, I'm like, what could this be? It could be something small or it could be something big. So I remember I told that to somebody and they were like, I find that to be an excuse. And I'm like, no, this is my
You
communication
what?
style. If you don't like it, like if you become something important in my life, I'm not saying you're not important, but like I will prioritize your communication when you respect my communication style. So
I feel
and that's
it.
what
I
it
feel
was.
I feel it.
And that's
Yeah.
what that's one of the
But that's
questions.
the thing. You're gonna go through a lot of. That's the thing. You just make it easier, though. I'm saying instead of wasting your time and be like, oh, maybe I could fix this or make this person appreciate my.
No.
You could just. All right. Nope. You don't. Okay. Nope.
Move on to the
You know
next.
what I'm
Move on to
saying?
the next. It's that easy. One of the questions I want to also ask you, Monica, is how many? Because I know you're coaching over 40,000 people, but it's like how many? How many?
Not at the same time.
Not at the same. I hope. I hope.
One big Google Meet
Listen
call,
here, young
40,000
lady.
One massive.
Listen, right?
Really
It's like
amazing.
no, you'd lose your hair like I did mine. But what I was saying is, how many of these relationships are Gen Z? And have you heard any of the things that we've been communicating to you?
I'm pretty sure you've heard like the transition, like how the problems have shifted. I guess.
I think just by virtue of having kids that are like those ages, right? Seeing the things that they struggle with. And I would say I have some couples that are newlyweds. I really love working with newlyweds because a lot of these things are very foundational, like busting those myths, meaning teaching them how to collaborate early so that they're not compromising, teaching them how to make requests, like certain relational skills, like making requests, making sure that they can communicate about sex and money, like the really big things that
real-
become
the
big
real meat and
problems if we
potatoes,
don't
right.
know how to talk about them, right? And so I love working with newlyweds and like engaged couples to set a really firm foundation. A lot of my clients are young kids. Get people at transitional times. So like young kids, they're like overwhelmed. There's so much going on and they're not communicating with each other very well. Or I get couples that have been married 20, 30 years. Their kids are moving out.
Right.
And now they're trying to decide like,
What do I do now?
okay, we've raised our kids. Do we like each other enough to keep going with this? So I see couples of all different ages and stages, but
Okay.
oftentimes it's the big transitions that will bring them in.
Let me just read one comment real quick, and then I'm gonna ask a question. Elvira says, "Welcome, Elvira." Says, "I think the problem is that people aren't dating as much as they used to. They're just linking up and having casual encounters, being together, and then being together, or just having casual encounters long term." My question is, how does someone transition from that mindset where everything is transactional and then think a marriage will be successful with that mindset?
I think you just have to be clear about what you want because I actually do think that there is some value in getting to know each other and not like have to make a marriage decision really quickly.
Agreed.
Like, so I think that making a marriage out of choice and not necessity is really, really valuable. Not feeling like, okay, if we're going to have sex, we got to get married or like just like feeling, I think marriages are more successful when they're based solely on choice. Like I've done all the things I wanted to do. I'm ready to get married. Or I actually have done a lot of interviews with people in Australia and they say that the average marriage age is like way higher.
Really?
They're like not getting married until like their late 30s and 40s.
Late
and I'm
30s.
like,
Wow. So they're together, but they're not.
You know, that makes me a little nervous too because I'm like, ooh, I don't know. At that point, like,
That might bleed
comfortable
into this
single.
area.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm
so
saying.
I think there's a balance, and I think you just have to make your motivation and expectation clear. Like, hey, listen, I'm looking for a partner, somebody I can live my whole life with, right? I'm not interested in these casual hookups. Just decide at every phase and stage of your own development what you want, and then just make it clear to the person you're in relationship with. If you're like, hey, I'm just looking for a casual hookup, and they agree, great. If you're like, hey, I'm looking for a life partner, and here are the things I'm looking for. Do you still want to hang out with me? Great, right? So like, I think you just make your intentions very clear to the person you're interacting with, and see how that goes. If they don't match up, then move on.
My question would be, because you said people are getting married later, like how do you, especially like, let's say you weren't dating, but you start dating later on in life around like 40s, 50s, 60s. Like how do you, well, I don't even think you'd be looking for marriage, right, at that point?
Well, like you said,
Well,
there's a lot
yeah,
of people that.
second marriages, third marriages.
Here it is.
Because like my question is, what are the steps to that? You see what I'm saying? Because if you've already done
Same.
all of that previously,
Do you want to start all over?
is that something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I think as humans we crave companionship. Like
Right.
we
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to be
yeah.
paired.
but like,
right?
what would the time frame on? It'd be a little accelerated, I would assume.
Maybe, but I think people communicate, but hopefully they communicate better. They know what they want, but it gets more complicated because when you
Right.
get later in life, you've got kids, you've got
Right.
money,
You're so
things that
much
you,
more
but
complete.
people are a
you
little
know?
more clear about what
Mhm.
they're looking for.
I
Like, I want
understand.
this, I don't want this,
I
right? Like, I'm
understand.
looking for this relationship, not this
I
relationship, right?
understand.
And so I think you just, hopefully, you get a little bit wiser and more aware of what you're looking for, what you tolerate, what you will tolerate, what you
Mhm.
won't, those types of things. But again, it all comes back to communication. Just communicate, make your expectations and your intentions very clear from the get-go, and then you don't waste a lot of time.
True.
That's what's up.
What do you think of like the couple dynamics? Because I know some people who like at first it started casual, like there was no intention of things being serious, and then they realize, oh, I like this person. I don't want to see them with anybody else. I don't want this to be casual. And then now they're married and they're happy and it works. So like
Great.
it's very unconventional approach. It's untraditional to what you see of like the usual like we meet, we date, we get married, right? Like it doesn't start casual. So what do you say to like those dynamics that like okay, it starts casual, then it actually gets serious and it becomes your life partner?
I think
you
that's
know?
great. I think there isn't a convention anymore. Like, I
It's
think
not.
that's what we
Mm.
started with. I
We-
think there doesn't have to, there's not one way for this to work. I see
Right.
people who meet on dating apps and live happily ever after. I
Yep.
see couples that have known each other since childhood, and some of them live happily ever after. Some of them don't work out, right? Like, there's no convention anymore. I think, like, as long as you're communicating and you're both can be very clear, like, you start out casual and you're like, gosh, I really like you. Like, this feels like I want to go deeper. I want to make more of this. And if the other person agrees, then go for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's really just about writing your own love story now. There's not a lot of rules.
I agree. I think people should
I like
throw out the traditional mindset of this is how it should be and then create their own rules. Like you said, I agree with that.
But I think one thing that really does become a big issue in marriages is the whole sex aspect. I'm saying, like, how do you incorporate that in your marriage without also
The taboos.
the taboos or infringing on their boundaries? How do you bring that up? How do you sustain that with aside from the okay, we consummate the marriage, we set days where we have sex? How do you
I
keep
have after your question, I have a question about that. too.
how do you keep it
Yeah.
interesting without
I watched an episode with you and your friend that she created the program where you guys role play.
Oh, yes, Katie. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Faithful fleeing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a good episode.
Like-
That's one way you can do that.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
'cause
there's all kinds of ways to keep monogamy hot. Here's what I tell couples. Two things when they get married. One, always talk about it,
Okay.
right? Like,
Gotcha.
learn how to talk about your sexual relationship and co-create it, right? This sex should be a place where the two of you can go and you get to just learn about each other. Make mistakes, do the thing, but always be talking about it. So I recommend something called Sex Talk Tuesdays. I'm just going to name it that because if you have a different name for it, whatever.
Okay.
My name is
Sex
Sex
Talk
Talk Tuesdays. You
Tuesdays.
should be doing
Okay.
Sex Talk Tuesdays. And that means every Tuesday, not in the bedroom, not like while it's happening, go for a walk, or if the weather's not good, go for a drive, and you talk about your sex life. How's this going for you? Are you getting what you need out of this?
Right.
Like, are there new things you want to try? Like, good, let's talk about it. So Sex Talk Tuesday, I think, is super important. And then
Okay.
when you first get married or first get together, I think it's really important to give each person a night that they get to orchestrate everything. They get to decide and say, integrate all five senses, right? Like, think about how you want the lighting, think about what music you want playing, think about how you want the temperature in the
The
room. What do
smell.
you want to be wearing? How do you want to start? You want to start in the bathtub together? You want, like, one night, like say Tuesday, the wife gets to choose everything about the experience. She gets to be in charge. She gets to explore whatever
Okay.
she wants to. She creates the experience in a way that feels good to her. And then on Thursdays, the husband gets to do the same. He gets to create whatever, right? And we come to those nights, if we're not the ones in charge, with an open mind and like willing to like
Ready to
be
receive, essentially.
open
just
and
like,
available and
Lord of the
learn.
Rings.
Like put yourself in a posture of curiosity. The
Awesome.
person running the experience is being vulnerable, and your job is to be curious. And
Awesome.
then you have your Sex Talk Tuesday and you talk about it. What did you love? What didn't you love? What worked great? What didn't work? Like, how did you feel more comfortable with me this way or this way? Talk about it, right? Like, it's a very important part of a
Absolutely.
long-term committed
Absolutely.
relationship. So if you want it to stay healthy over the long term, you keep talking about it.
And I think that's the thing. The main thing that I keep hearing you repeat over and over is communication, but that's the biggest issue. We talk about it all the time, people in general as couples, but that's never a thing. It's like if something happens, they keep it up here and then lash out later on. So it's like like you said, communication is really the key to making sure a relationship thrives.
Yes.
So-
And here's the thing about relationships. Relationships and can be pretty interchangeable with communication. It's really hard to have a relationship without communication, right?
Gotcha.
So
Unless
relational
you're mute.
skills / communication is skill set. Like anything else, it's like learning a new sport or how to play an instrument or how to cook something. Listen, if you want to get good at it, you've got to decide that it's a priority and you've got to start somewhere. You probably aren't going to be great at it in the beginning. You have to keep practicing. You got to get a coach. You got to learn the skills that are required, and you have to be willing to be bad at it before you're going to be good at it. And so nobody is like born with like good at relationships. It's trial and error. It's like deciding I want to be good at this thing and I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'm going to practice until I get it right. And when I get it wrong, I'm going to try again.
There you go.
And that's
it.
what relationship is.
That's real.
Snot, she says, you also got to have your boundaries clear and set before.
That's
But,
real.
Cece, you got any final questions?
Any final questions for
for
Monica?
Monica?
To like touch on the sex topic, we have access to the internet. There's access to particular content. And I have read stories where that content has sometimes been beneficial for some people's relationships and dynamics, but some people have found that it's not beneficial for people and it's actually ruined marriages. So what do you say? Did you hear that? I had a call come in. Were you able to hear that? Okay, good. So I had call notification. I was like, nope, we're trying to end that call. But what do you say to the access of that content and how it has caused damage in marriages and actually has ended marriages? So what do you say to that in a society where you may not agree with it entirely?
Yes. My answer to that is you've got to communicate about it. You've got to be real clear about, does this work for me? Does this not work for me? How are we going to integrate this into our marriage in a healthy way? What is going to be our relationship to this particular thing? And it can be anything, but if you're talking about pornography or something like that, like you get real clear how each of you feel about it. What is your relationship to it? What is your history with it? What do you think about it? Does it have a place in our marriage? Does it not? So it doesn't really matter what you end on. It's how the two of you are going to deal with it, right? It's like anything else. It's part of your storyline. Like it's out there. It's not going away. So it's something that we just have to talk about, collaborate about it.
And I also think there's a lot of situations because, again, it could be a dead bedroom. Sometimes, like you said, there's an addiction there. So it's a lot of situations where people could be addicted to pornography because of that situation.
Yep.
Monica, before we go, I would like to ask you, could you give our viewers, our listeners, a little bit more insight on your book you authored, Bad Marriage Advice? And what our
thank you.
listeners expect to get from it.
So the way that book came about is my son called me at the beginning of last year and he said, Mom, I met the girl I'm going to marry. I'm like, that's so great. He's like, I'm going to propose next month. And I was like, whoa.
When were you going to tell me this?
Whoa.
There.
Whoa.
Son.
I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, right? And so I just sat down. It was like almost like a panic. Like, what do I need? What have I not taught him? And I just sat down to write him a letter, and it really quickly became a book because I remember when my husband and I announced that we were getting married. We were also very young, so didn't really have a leg to stand on. We were 22, he was 21. And people gave us all kinds of advice. Some of the advice was good and some of it was very bad. And so I knew that he was going to get all kinds of advice. And from my own experience in marriage, combined with all of the couples that I've had the opportunity to walk with and work with, some of that advice is just, it creates a lot more mayhem in a marriage than it value. And so I just, that's how it happened. The format came really quickly. It was just like, these are the things that people are going to say to you as good advice. And here's why, beware of it. And here's how to do it better. And the through line, which I think you could probably say is the through line of this whole conversation, is communication.
Gotcha.
If the advice engenders lazy communication, it's bad advice. If it raises the level of your communication, it's good advice. So always run. If anyone tells you this is good advice about marriage, run it through that filter. Does it allow me to be lazy in my communication? It's probably bad advice. Happy wife, happy life. Horrible advice.
Horrible advice.
Stop listening to that, right? Like if they love you, they'll just know how to treat you. Awful advice, right?
They'll just know.
Or the guy
guy
version, happy spouse, happy household, or something like that. I can't remember what.
That's happy house.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's funny because I wrote the book about a year ago, and now I would like to even take that whole happy house, happy spouse, happy house is much better than happy wife, happy life. However, it is not your spouse's job to make you happy.
You need to come complete.
So I would rewrite that chapter and
Like
be
you
like,
said, Jeff.
learn how to make yourself happy. It's
Well,
nobody's job to make you happy.
Well, like my brother always says, you need to come complete, and all I can do is add to your
I
life.
can only add to your life. I can't make you whole.
I can never make you happy. I can only add.
That comes
Chapter
from
in the
within.
book, right? Find a partner who completes you. Jerry Maguire, no thank you.
There you go. No, thank you.
No. Well, Monica, thank you so much for joining us at the table tonight. Really appreciate your
We
insight.
definitely have to have you back on.
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys have been so much fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cece, thank you for also
Yes,
giving us.
appreciate you.
Pleasure.
Yes, we needed a balance. It was too much testosterone. At the table. Absolutely.
Yep, too much.
And you knew the right questions to ask. But Monica, thank you so much. Hope this is the start of something awesome.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
6 degrees.
And hopefully we could get you back on, especially when we have Valentine's Day.
Yep. Or if you want to invite your friend on too.
Yes, absolutely. I'm saying. But we will definitely keep in touch with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate you.
Cece, you got any final thoughts?
No, I did want to ask you like a super fun question though.
Oh, for sure.
So
Go ahead,
in
go
your
ahead.
sports episode I listened to, you said that you're a big soccer family. I'm a big soccer fan.
She is a
So I
huge
have
soccer
to
fan.
know. I'm a huge soccer fan. So I have to know, who is your soccer team, whether that's like MLS, Europa, La Liga, International.
She's naming
who's
all
your
this
team?
Chinese to me.
Okay, I have to tell you a super sad story.
Oh,
My
go ahead.
husband played high school soccer and college soccer. I played high school soccer. And then my husband went on to coach our high school soccer team. I love the music. It's a sad story. None of my kids would ever play soccer. I envisioned myself as a soccer mom.
Really?
My kids were tennis players, and then I have a volleyball player.
You still
and a
got the
football
grandkids.
player.
You still got the grandkids.
Right.
That's true.
Start
Right in the
Just
delivery room. Just show up with a
hit soccer ball. That's it.
Absolutely.
Get them kicking right away.
Or
I
football.
wonder if that could have been what we did wrong. We started all our kids in soccer. At some point, they all just threw the temper tantrum. We don't want to play soccer anymore.
Oh.
Luckily, they all were athletes. They all
I
played
feel
great
that.
Cool
sports.
beans.
I feel that.
They've
That's
all had
awesome.
great athletic careers, but no
Shouts
soccer
out.
players
No,
in my
definitely.
family.
Yep, definitely get the grandkids though. You got to get the
But,
grandkids.
but Boise, so you asked about my favorite team. Boise just got a local soccer team, and they
Okay.
just barely had their very first game. So that's
Barely.
probably going to be my team from
Okay,
now on.
all right, cool.
Are they
beans.
MLS or USL? What league?
I do not.
Okay.
I
They're-
should call my husband. Love. I don't know.
Oh man.
But fun.
Don't
That's
worry,
so
I don't
exciting.
know. I don't know either. So we're on the same boat, Monica. We're on the same boat.
This is all what?
It's Chinese to
Yep.
us. If it's not nerd stuff, we don't know what
I
it
do
is.
not
I'm guessing
understand.
MLS because I haven't heard of the other one, but I don't want to say the wrong.
USL is like below MLS. So it may be MLS because I know St. Louis got an MLS team. Like it's really expanding.
Now she's talking football. I don't know.
Oh
what's-
wow.
yeah.
The chat
I-
loves you, Monica.
I grew up watching MLS, but then I got into Real Madrid because I went to Madrid
Ah.
one time and I saw the stadium and I fell in love with it. that team. And I was like, that is my team. I'm not adding any other team. Like, that's it.
Well, it looks like the chat really loves you. They want you back on.
They
Yeah.
want you back.
That's amazing.
Have her back on to interview your first dates.
That's gonna be in another 100 years.
This is hilarious.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I like that
Oh,
idea.
man.
Fun little segment.
No, we could do a little segment. That's true.
That's true.
That's
That's
true. Marriage advice with Monica.
Because we're in the East Coast, so we can get people to know who Monica is and
That's facts.
send them your way.
That's facts.
Send them your way.
What?
But
Mr. Baldhead.
yes, sir.
Take us home.
Guys, if you want to watch our ugly mugs on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Facebook, Kick, Twitch, and also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and now YouTube Music. We also have our YouTube channel, one word, Tabletop Topics, our Triple T's Clips channel, and our TikTok. So if you click on the link, it'll take you directly to the episodes, and of course we have timestamps so you can navigate throughout. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and of course leave us a comment. Again, guys, thank you again for joining us at the tabletop. You have a good night, weekend, evening, and day, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
See ya, guys. Thank you for pulling up today.
Monica, we appreciate you.
Monica,
and
thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
your
I
time.
love your
It's
voice.
all love.
That is so fun.
Thank you.
Oh,
Get
yes,
that.
great radio voice.
Honey.
Absolutely. The timbre is immaculate. in here. Absolutely. It's
Stop making me
amazing.
blush.
Meant for radio. So good, so good. It was really nice meeting you guys. Please
Very-
keep in touch.
Yes,
Let me know how I
always.
can share
Absolutely.
out
Definitely.
this to all of my
We
people.
only go up. We only go up.
6 degrees of separation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Monica.
again.
Awesome. Nice
And
to
guys,
meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
guys have a great night. Y'all take it easy. We will see ya.
I didn't want to leave the hotel. I was scared too.
Meanwhile, it smelled like straight horse booty. I juggle my chesticles for
Frontier famous.
I got you.
Everyone should go stream it. It's great. It's a collab project.
Right.
So imagine you go in the warehouse and you're like,
I'd crash out.
Pull a blue
Please chat. Let me know if this is an experience you've had.
Okay.
Selenite is the only crystal that does not have to be cleared or cleansed.
Return to my